In a world of heartless reviews, soulless unboxings, and otherwise boring content, this is another one.
This is the XSUID 6-in-1 USB-C hub. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're talking about the XSUID. Am I holding it up? No, I'm not. No. Today we're talking about the XSUID 6-in-1 USB-C hub. This hub was sent to me a couple weeks ago by XSUID for review. And before I get into the review, I'd just like to let you know that XSUID has not seen this video before I uploaded it. They're not paying me in any way. They did send me the dongle for free, but that is it. There's going to be no filtering of my opinion in this video. I just got the free dongle and that is it. Like I said previously, this is a 6-in-1 USB-C port. It has one USB-C slot, a USB 2.0, a USB 3.0, standard size SD slot, a micro SD slot, and then at the end over here, an HDMI connection. After unboxing this dongle, I found that the construction of it is pretty darn solid. It has a really nice space gray finish, and you can tell it's made from some sort of metal. It's pretty thin, but I mean, it's a pretty inexpensive dongle coming up at this price. And for really, you're getting a pretty good, solid, sturdy construction for what you're paying for. Now, with this being a dongle, it's a pretty straightforward review. There's not really much bells and whistles to this. It's really just an extension of whatever device you happen to be using. It extends, gives you more ports and more capabilities of those ports. Really, the only thing that this dongle could do wrong is if some of the ports didn't work or it operated slowly or anything like that. And I went ahead and plugged this device into my 2021 M1 iPad Pro, and I went ahead and started testing all the ports. First, I plugged in the standard size SD card and I tested with a few images on the SD card from my camera. I plugged in the SD card just to see if it popped up in the Explorer and if I could navigate the files and find the photo. Everything seemed to operate pretty darn smoothly and there were really no hiccups at all. Same goes for the micro SD slot. I went ahead and switched out my standard SD for my micro SD and it was pretty much the same results. There was no hiccups, it was pretty fast. Loaded the image just fine, and yeah, there was really nothing wrong with that either. So 2 for 2, pretty darn good. So next, I actually had a hard time finding any like standard USB devices around my apartment. They're kind of getting, I noticed like it's kind of becoming a thing that's harder to find, at least in my life. I'm using mostly USB-C and SD cards nowadays, but I did manage to find an old SD card reader that had a USB 2.0 on it, and I went ahead and plugged that card reader into the USB 2.0 port, loaded up the same image I had previously, and once again, everything seemed to work fine. That means this port works, everything's great. Same goes with the USB 3.0 port, plugged in that old from like the dollar store or Dollar General USB SD card reader, and everything seemed to work just fine. So far, 4 ports, no problems at all. And I'll be happy to let you know that I plugged in a USB-C tough hard drive into the USB-C port, and that loaded up as well. I got to load up some files. Everything went smoothly, and I can't really comment on the speed of the hard drive because it's actually not a solid state hard drive. It is a disk drive, so it's pretty old, but I have some files on there that I still want to keep for archiving, and it still ran pretty well. Nothing seemed particularly slow. It seemed to operate at the speed I normally would use it at anyway. Now, this isn't a very technical review. I'm not going to report on anything like read or write speeds. That's not what this channel is. I'm not a very technical channel when it comes to things like my reviews. I'm just giving the base review, my use, my exploration of the device, and the general experience that I got. Because most people, at the end of the day, aren't doing things like monitoring the speeds of their dongles to see if the port is a few, if it imports and exports as quickly as another dongle. Like, most people are just buying this thing online and they're going, ooh, this is a dongle, I need it, it's cheap, and let's see if it works. And I can report so far that it's actually working. And now for a sort of confusing part of this review, we finally reviewed the HDMI ports. And when it came to the HDMI port, I did have quite a few hiccups, but it may not be what it seems. So let me talk about it. So to test the HDMI port, I actually just plugged in the HDMI from the back of my monitor behind me into the HDMI of this dongle into my iPad. From that point, I looked ahead to my monitor to see if there were any hiccups, and much to my surprise, instead of hiccups or any weirdness, I just saw nothing. There was no signal. There was absolutely nothing coming from the iPad into the monitor. And I thought that was pretty weird because I mean, HDMI should be relatively easy when it comes to a dongle like this. I mean, it's just literally an extension, USB-C, HDMI, it should work. I tried several times plugging it in and unplugging it and nothing seemed to work. My monitor just kept saying no signal. But the funny thing was, I even plugged in one of my Apple approved HDMI dongles and even that didn't work. So something really seemed funny here. So I went online and I looked to see if there were any problems involving dongles and my new iPad Pro. I also do need to preface this by saying that I am on the beta of iOS 15, so that could also have something to do with it. But apparently, I found a post online that said the M1 iPads aren't really playing nice with dongles and HDMI yet. And I can understand situations may vary, and this may be something that you should take with a grain of salt, but I did not have a good time trying to plug in any HDMI into my M1 iPad, but that could have something to do with me being better or beta for iOS 15 at all. Perhaps my experience right now still it may be working better, or that being said, that does not necessarily mean that the HDMI from this dongle isn't working. And to test that, I actually brought out my girlfriend's M1 MacBook. And to test that, I actually brought out my girlfriend's M1 MacBook Air, and I tried plugging this in to the monitor with the MacBook Air. And lo and behold, that actually worked. I tried unplugging it and plugging it in a few times and the monitor seemed to carry over, the mouse worked, everything was just fine. The screen resized correctly and everything seemed all right. I unplugged it a couple times as well and replugged it in just to make sure that there were no connection issues and the build wasn't affecting the signal transferring into, you know, like maybe there was like a loose port or something, but that didn't seem to be the case. I tried unplugging it and plugging it in several times to try to mess it up, you know? But it didn't mess up, it worked, and the HDMI transferred to the monitor without any issue. So in conclusion, this dongle actually does seem like a pretty solid purchase. The build construction is great, I love that. All the ports seem to work pretty well. The only thing I would be weary of is if you're using an M1 iPad Pro, it may not be useful to you just yet if you're trying to use it to transfer HDMI to a monitor, but that could be remedied in the future with something like a firmware or software update. I'm not really sure, but I believe it's on the Apple end of things and not on the XSUID side of things, because even the Apple dongle did not work for me correctly. But if you're using this for a MacBook or any other USB-C device, this would probably be perfect for you. And in all honesty, if you're not looking to just use HDMI and you're looking to use SD cards, micro SD, a couple USB slots, and a USB-C, all of these worked just fine without any hiccups, even on the beta of iOS 15 on my iPad Pro. So in all honesty, I would highly recommend this device, and I think it is a fantastic purchase if you're looking for a dongle. So definitely pick up one today in the link below if you do so choose, if you're looking for a dongle. I know I'll definitely be using it for many things in the future, such as photo transfers, video transfers, and maybe one day I'll be able to get to use it in the HDMI with my iPad as well. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you found the review helpful, and let me know if this recommendation has inspired you to buy this dongle. I would definitely like to know that, and if this review helped you at all. That being said, if there are any products you'd like me to review in the future, definitely hit me up in the comments and let me know if there are any devices that interest you, especially if it has anything to do with items such as artistic tools, iPad, accessories, etc. And if you haven't gotten enough of my face on this platform, you can always catch me over on twitch.tv/kagebonito. I will leave my schedule and my link in the description below. And if you really like this content and you feel like supporting me that little extra along the way, you can always hit me up over on patreon.com/kagebonito and contribute monthly to the Patreon over there, and I would really appreciate it. That being said, thank you so much to my current patrons. Without you, I honestly couldn't do it. You're helping me more than you could ever know, and it really means a lot to me, and it's helping me out a ton. And if you're looking to get any artwork made for you, I have my commissions currently open, and I will leave a link below in the description as well. So you can hit me up through my website and email me, message me, whatever you need to do if you need any commissions done. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.